Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
Under the waves is where we belong.
Just got a severe thunderstorm watch box of one of several to come today across parts of the Mid-South. We're looking at places just north of Memphis, up the Ohio River Valley, and then north of that, you see all those tornado reports yesterday, 11 across 4 states, and I'm afraid today's going to probably be even more active across the Mid-South at places like Nashville and Memphis and St. Louis. I think Louisville, Lexington, you're really going to be underground. This first pulse rapidly moves to the northeast, and parts of the northeast are going to get it today as well. But at 6, 7 o'clock tonight, we're looking at the thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes across this area. And then looking at tomorrow, we got another pulse heading through places like Dallas, Texas. And then after that, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, look what we got going on here as far as how many more severe weather days we have across parts of the southern plains. And all hazards are going to be in play here across Tornado Alley. Talk about the heat. We've got several more days of record-breaking heat today across parts of Florida, across parts of the Southeast, including Atlanta and Charleston and Texas. You'll continue to break more records today, so much of the South continues to sizzle on top of the severe weather.
So we're tracking a severe weather threat this week into late week, and there is already severe weather in action in the upper Midwest, but we're going to look at Thursday and Friday, more specifically Thursday for right now, because that threat is the one that is the most concerning, especially in the upper Midwest, Minneapolis, Green Bay, Chicago. That's where we could see damaging winds, very large hail, and a few isolated tornadoes Thursday. So timing wise, this thing starts to kind of kick off. We start to see some storms entering that risk area around 2 p.m. And as we move through the day, we see that line of storms moving eastward through that main severe risk area. And so Chicago could be Friday evening, but once we get into Michigan, that's looking at more likely an overnight threat into very early Friday morning.
Man, the whole United States is going crazy. Everyone be safe out there. Make sure you got everything charged up because it sounds like things are about to turn up. Let me know if things turned up near where you live. But look and listen as these power lines in Kalamazoo, Michigan intensely flare as severe storms ravage southern Michigan on Thursday night. What a crazy night last night. Did you guys experience anything? Drop it in the comments below. Let us know you're all right and what you went through.
A Tennessee fisherman was out fishing all kinds of fish, and all of a sudden this creeps up on him.
Near me.
What would you do if you were in this situation? Keep fishing or run for the hills? Comment below. Let me know what will you do.
There is a tornado like right near me. Do you see this shit? And we're still catching fish. What? And watches and bullshit. It's like, if it's coming for you, it's coming for you. This one wasn't coming for us. Right past us.
Like that tornado just rolled up behind them and was like, hey, are any of the fish biting?
Remember I talked about the giants of South America and stuff? The Aztecs talked about, before the Aztecs were there, giants roamed the land. And these giants, they said, were created by a god, but they opposed another god. This god tried to kill all the giants. One of the first times that he tried to kill them was by sending fire from the sky.
Wow.
It killed almost everything, but a few giants survived. And then they said that this god ended up flooding the whole earth. to kill these giants. There was one giant, he survived with his siblings. What they did right after that flood was they're like, we're going to build a giant pyramid. So if it ever floods again, we can escape it. And so this pyramid that they built was called the Great Pyramid of Cholula, the largest pyramid on earth volume wise. They say it's one of 6 pyramids that were built on top of each other. So, I mean, like, we're talking a massive, massive Tower of Babel like thing.
Yeah.
Tower of Babel happened after the flood, and these giants built this pyramid to escape the flood after the flood.
Mm-hmm.
But then it talks about how the Aztec people came in and they drove the giants further north. Remember,
Man, they got that story out the Bible.
Well, well, well. We're at the initiation well in Sintra, Portugal, which isn't really a well at all. It was owned and allegedly created by a Freemason and used for ceremonial purposes. It's said to represent the 9 circles of hell from Dante's Inferno. That was a Knights of Templar cross on the surface. But perhaps this once served a different purpose before being overtaken by a mason. The bottom leads to these tunnels, and we can only imagine what the masons used these for. Who knows how many of these tunnels exist underground all over the world, which we don't know about. And excuse me while I watch my back for reptilians. The cave eventually leads to this waterfall, which is good, allows getting claustrophobic. Allegedly built in the early 1900s, I have to wonder if this is way older than what we're told. Perhaps built originally by an advanced civilization which existed prior to us. Well, well, well.
He said, I have to wash my back before a Draco reptilian comes. But where is this? This looks like some type of labyrinth, doesn't it? I would love to venture off into one of these.
This was constructed in 1904. You're having a bubble bath, ain't you? Because it looks a lot older to me. And apparently it only took 6 years to complete. Opening in 1910. But we know better than to trust any official dates by now. This palace is located in Sintra, Portugal, and looks to be overflowing with what could be ether energy antennas. It also reminds me of Wayne Manor. There's even caves underneath, but I'm going to show you those in a separate video. For now, let's admire this intricate facade on the building. Is there more to this Gothic style than simply looking good? And did this structure once serve a practical function? Apparently there's symbols here related to alchemy, masonry, the Knights Templar, and the Rosicrucians. So it sounds like there was a wholesale Illuminati takeover of this place. But once again, did the controllers of today just find this building and then take credit for its assembly? Inside, as well as looking like a place where Scooby-Doo would unravel some mystery, it looks like the ceiling was used to channel some sort of acoustic energy, serving as a resonator of some kind. Raggy. This was constructed in 1904.
Portugal, you say? This is a must-see. This has to be one of the most craziest. Look at this. Separate from everything else. Look at the statues. Etheric conducting. This is a must-see. If you're in Portugal, you gotta stop by and see this. I would definitely do it. And caves underneath? Why do all these extravagant buildings have caves underneath? What is the purpose? Do they build them on top of caves, or are the caves formed afterwards? Look, people aren't doing this anymore. A balcony ledge. How hard do you go on a balcony ledge? The people on top can't even see what's under it. These people cared. It's just not even, the word cared isn't even a word. It just was, baffles me how hard they went on these buildings. If you guys thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. Feast your eyes on this crazy calcite. Mango calcite. Oh yeah, I love the name mango calcite. Like the forbidden mango. Ooh, that's a good name. The forbidden mango. But it's also, I also like the texture of it. Like it's like a Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch wings. If I had to name this piece, I would call it Captain Crunch wings. Guys, you know we had to double up on you today. Look at this Colmenar Vilvianite from Bolovia. Great color. The green, you guys already know I got the perfect name for this. Kryptonite. Just look at the dark green, how it shines through.
So this is a discovery that I wish would repeat itself. This goes back. This discovery was in like 1997, 1998. These are just wonderful. The beautiful metallic hematite blades with the quartzes erupting out from those flowers with the red coating of hematite on the crystals whilst the quartz still remains translucent is unique to this place and to this discovery. And there were later discoveries, one probably almost 15 years later, but the quartzes become totally covered with so much hematite that they're no longer translucent. They're still red, but they look almost like a corroded red as opposed to a translucent glassy red, which is what these are. And this is a larger example from that discovery in the mid-90s. And one of something that's like so hard to find, a great example of these days. It's when you see one, I always take advantage of acquiring it if it's in good condition like this and has a beautiful aesthetic like this one does as well. So this is a great example from that discovery and of a combination of minerals that I just love.
It is an absolutely fantastic specimen from Guangdong, China. He probably dropped at least 5,000 for that. Leave him alone. He's just chilling in his, what is that, a cannon? That's crazy. He's inside a cannon. Chilling. There is no corner on this earth that humans aren't annoying other creatures. I bet you this fish is just cursing in fish language and start, That was impressive. What is it?
The Chinese have achieved the impossible. They managed to build a bridge that reaches the sky, and its astounding height will definitely impress you. This project was considered impossible, and Western experts skeptically said it would take the Chinese 500 years to complete. However, Chinese engineers finished it in just 3 years, and opened it for traffic. It is the highest bridge in the world at 565 meters and spans 1,340 meters. The Beipanjiang Bridge is designed to last 100 years and can withstand very strong winds. The most amazing fact is that there are no supports in the middle of the bridge. It is held up by 224 suspension cables. From a distance, the bridge looks like a dragon, showcasing the strength and power of China's infrastructure. If you're not following the Motivate HQ project, you're probably never going to see us again. If you are, then congratulations. You're growing every day.
I'm not gonna lie, it would be pretty scary driving on a bridge in the middle of a mountain, it looks like, in the sky. That'd be pretty scary. Real Spanish shipwreck treasure. Let's take a closer look.
But yep, we just found an old ship anchor. Definitely a coin. Wow. Holy shnikes, y'all. Look at that. We got another one. There we go. I told y'all I find them out here all the time. You just got to know where to look. But there, that's a piece of a silver coin. That took me a while to figure. Y'all see what I'm talking about here? Oh, look, I see the detail on there. Holy crap. Look. It's a piece of 8. Look. Oh, y'all. Here we go. Look. There we go, guys. Here we go. Well. Oh, y'all, I can't wait to clean that one. Not even like 1% of them, but this is that rare British coin that I found from the 1500s. Look what I found today, guys. And this is the one I broke. Look what I found. You see the round there? We got another cannonball, or another cannon shot. Oh. Holy crap. That's probably one of the nicer ones I found. Whoa! Whoa! Holy moly! Look at that. Whoa! That's old! You see how deep this is? Now look what it is. It's an old anchor, guys. An old anchor. So the park ranger told me to leave it here, so I'm going to leave it down in there. There's no way I'm going to get that thing up, guys. I'm getting a signal all the way down there. That thing's got to be 6 or 7 feet long.
What an absolutely interesting hobby. I would love to participate in looking for treasure, especially on the nice day on the beach. That sounds like right up my alley. Would that be something you would do? Or if you have experience with metal detecting and found something, I'd love to hear what you found. Drop it in the comments below. Uh-oh, they found a Spanish artifact. What exactly is this?
Wow. It was setting up, and then I had to dig the rest of it up. But it's definitely not an Indian.
And it's got a back.
It could be more like a Roman.
So, okay. What do you think we got here?
And here's the back side of it.
I think, yeah, see that? Okay, when you put this all together, what's it do? It sets up.
Yeah, it's like a bust almost.
Yes, exactly. And what happens every time a Spaniard went into the mine? What did he do?
He had to say his prayers in that case he never came out. But
exactly.
But you're saying that then that's Jesus?
That very easily could be.
That's what I thought too.
The best representation that the artist could do is what it is. It's a Christos.
Oh, and yeah, Christos.
It's a Christos, and it sets at the beginning.
Wow.
It was setting up, and then I had to...
Man, you got a secret. What is it?
They claim there was a guy just south of here. Is Farm Creek Pass on the reservation. The guy that ran the bulldozer over the top of it building the road.
Yeah.
Claimed right on the top of it, peeled up a whole pile of gold bars, left his bulldozer, everything, loaded what he could and left.
Ah.
The guy disappeared, never to be seen again.
Really? What year was that?
Would have been probably 70 years ago. It was a long time ago. I know there's one on top of Lake Mountain full of Spanish silver.
What's the
I've
story
had friends
of it?
look for it.
Oh yeah?
The Spaniards buried a whole bunch of silver up there under a metal door. I've had friends go look for it.
No luck, huh? They find any Spanish things, any artifacts,
The old
any
Spanish single spur.
smelters? I found a spur?
Yep. Because the Spaniards only ever wore one spur, just a left spur. Because their sword and everything else was on the right side, and if they swung off their horse to fight, they didn't wear a right spur. All they wore was a left spur for riding a
Was
horse.
that spur tipped sideways?
I don't remember.
Because I found... Man, you got a secret. What is it?
They claim there was a guy.
He giving up all the secrets, isn't he? Where was that location at again? And I would like to see some photos or some evidence of these claims.
All right, guys, let's use the sleuths. Let's see what gold we get. Damn, that was a good spot. Woo! Man, that spot. Man. All right, guys.
Those were some great nuggets. Virginia gold panning. Almost feel like it's like Star Trek or something. You know how Star Trek, they're trying to detect oxygen or something, foreign planet trying to get close to a dilithium crystal. That's the noises it's kind of making me. It says he was out there for a week trying to find gold, and look what he found, a gold nugget. Damn.
You guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
No, I have not.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh from 668 to 627 BC. This dude was obsessed with understanding everything, and so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid-19th century by a British archaeologist, Austin Henry Layard, and he found over 30,000 tablets.
Jeez.
And that's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history, because they talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
But then there's thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology. They said in today's standards is still very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy, Ashurbanipal claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. And this is a quote from him. I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing. And then he said, I have read the secret tablets of the gods.
The Watchers?
I mean,
golly, dude.
So that got me thinking. I'm like, he said he was a divine king, and that the Assyrian gods are the true mighty gods. No other god can stand against the Assyrian gods. But then you think like, okay, well, God, was he also like, I don't want you people to read these. You guys ever hear about the lost library of Nineveh?
I mean, we're already provided with good doctrine, so a lot of those questions are already answered.
You exist with parallel universes. In your living room, there are dinosaurs. In your living room, there are pirates. In your living room, there are aliens. You don't have to go into outer space to see the aliens. The aliens are there right there in your living room. the multiverse in a simple way. Take a look at radio. If you walk into your living room, how many radio stations are there in your living room? Hundreds of radio stations, right? But your radio is only tuned to one frequency, okay? It resonates at one frequency, and that's why you hear only one station. But how many stations are there in principle in your living room? Hundreds of vibrations. Now replace the radio with electrons. The electron is a wave governed by quantum mechanics. And how many waves are there of these electrons? An infinite number of waves, just like infinite number of radio waves. But you are tuned to one frequency. That's why you exist with parallel universes. The thing is, you are no longer vibrating in unison with them. You've bifurcated. So you cannot jump into these other universes. You exist with parallel universes.
Sounded like he was explaining the Marvel multiverse, wasn't he?
You're looking at a large area and you see that the trees are all, say, 80 feet tall, and then you've got this sloping group of trees that are, you know, following almost like a river pattern, and they're all 60 feet tall. Well, boom, there's your vein right there. Your map's drawn. You already know what to do. I had a guy consult with me about his trees, and he talked with probably 24 arborists before, and I went up there and immediately I said, oh, well, this is salt poisoning. These trees are you know, they're getting heavy mineralization, and there's a lot of salt that's hurting these guys. And he said, oh, well, we've got this is right by Crystal Hot Springs in Honeyville, Utah. He says, oh, well, there's a hot spring that comes. I said, don't tell me. I'll show you exactly how that hot spring flows, and you tell me if I'm wrong. And I showed him, and he said, that's exactly how it flows. I said, well, yeah, these trees are into the salt. And being able to distinguish between what is the salt or what is the heavy metals, that's what you're looking at a large area.
One of the things I discovered up there that I don't think anybody else knew about was on Little Malapai. There was a ridge of stone running north and south on the top of the peak, or top of that mountain, that looked like they had an altar there. Just very rough cut, and it had Oro, O-R-O, carved into the rock, and it's very faint. I've got pictures somewhere that I'll have to try to find, but
is that on the pictures you gave me?
no,
Okay.
no. Like I say, I was limited in my time, and I will look them up and forward them if I can find them.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, that was what we found there. My dad and brother and I went off and did other things. A couple of years later, my brother worked for Jake again up in that area. One of the things I discovered up there.
Well, there we go. Huh. That's got some weird markings on it there. Check that out. Kind of a cool little earring. It's got some weird little dents on there. That's cool. Another sunrise sign. There we go.
I'm telling you guys, this is right up my alley, and you can come up, find some gold. Where do I get my metal detector at? The code word is Friday Gold. Go ahead and drop Friday Gold in the comments below. That lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video. And I just want to say thank you. Your support really means the world to me. It really does. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Stay safe and see you tomorrow.